Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to keep pushing against life? No matter how much you try forcing the outcome, controlling every detail, it still slips through your fingers like water. And the harder you squeeze, the faster it runs away. What if the peace you've been searching for is not hidden in more effort, but in less? Not in tightening your grip, but in loosening it? Imagine discovering that life doesn't need to be chased, it needs to be allowed. There comes a moment when you realize the fight isn't with the world, it's with yourself. And when you stop forcing life, when you finally surrender that invisible battle, everything begins to change in ways you never expected. Welcome to Stoic Blend, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we explore a principle that is as liberating as it is challenging. The art of moving with life, not against it. The weariness you don't see. You may not be fully aware of it, but there is a kind of silent exhaustion that creeps into your days, a weariness born from the endless effort to control life. You pressure yourself to be more productive, more disciplined, more positive, more in control. You push yourself to maintain relationships that have already run their course, to stick to routines that no longer serve you, to make decisions before they are ready to be made. And the more you try, the more it feels like everything is slipping through your hands like sand, like water, like life itself. This is where an ancient concept steps in, one that can transform the way you live. Wu Wei from Taoism, translated by philosopher Alan Watts as acting without forcing, not passivity, but deep wisdom. Wu Wei is not passivity. It's not laziness or weakness. It is one of the deepest expressions of wisdom and courage. The ability to act in harmony with the natural flow of things, to move with life, not against it. Think of a dancer not struggling with the music, but feeling its rhythm and letting it guide their movements. Think of a surfer not trying to dominate the ocean, but flowing with the wave. Now ask yourself, how many times today have you tried to force what isn't ready? How often do you blame yourself for not controlling what is, by nature, uncontrollable? How many decisions have you made out of fear, fear of losing, fear of appearing weak, fear of not doing enough? From childhood, many of us were trained to live against the current of life. We were told that success comes from relentless effort, even when everything inside us whispers to stop, the result of fighting the flow. We grow into anxious, insecure adults, disconnected from our own existence, because we never learned the art of letting go, of observing, of trusting. Wu Wei is not about doing nothing, it is doing with awareness, with lightness, with respect for the timing of things. It is stepping away from being the exhausted rower fighting against the current, and becoming the wise sailor who adjusts their sails and navigates with the wind. Alan Watts once said that when you stop forcing life, something magical happens. The right doors open, the right paths appear, the right answers emerge, not because you hunted them down, but because you created the space for them to surface, beyond words into experience. To understand Wu Wei, we must look beyond philosophy as an intellectual exercise. Taoism and Zen are not concepts to memorize. They are living realities to be felt with your body, your spirit, your presence. The Tao, literally meaning the way, is not a set of rules or a fixed doctrine. It is the invisible flow that moves all things. The growth of trees, the change of seasons, the dance between joy and sorrow, birth and death. Laozi, the Taoist master, said, "The Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao." Why? Because the moment we try to capture life in words, it has already moved beyond them. Zen takes this further. Born from the meeting of Buddhism and Taoism, Zen strips away anything that blocks direct experience. It asks you to be fully here in each breath, each step, each gesture. Both Taoism and Zen whisper the same truth to the human ego. You are not in control. You never were. Bridging two worlds. This is where Alan Watts enters. Not as a distant academic, but as a translator of soul, someone who built a bridge between Eastern wisdom and the Western mind. He understood the fear we have of losing control. The Western obsession with effort, goals, and constant doing has created a world where calm feels suspicious, where rest feels like failure, and where every moment must be optimized. Watts dismantled that illusion with stories and metaphors, a river flowing effortlessly, a sailor reading the wind, life as music meant to be danced with, not rushed through. The river metaphor. Close your eyes and picture a river, a vast, strong current carrying everything in its path. Now, imagine someone trying to swim against it. Each stroke is a struggle. Muscles burn, breath shortens, panic rises. The more they fight, the further they drift from peace. This, Watts said, is human suffering. It's rarely the events themselves that break us. It's our resistance to them. You lose a job, a relationship ends, a plan fails. Instead of accepting and adapting, you cling to what's gone, as if you could trap water in your hands. The river of life has its own intelligence. You don't need to push it. You need to trust it. That's not passive resignation, it's active alignment. Like a surfer reading the waves, not to overpower them, but to dance with them. The prison of control. From childhood you've been told, never give up. Fight for what you want. Push harder. But this has built an invisible prison. One made of constant tension, anxiety disguised as ambition, fear painted as determination. Our society worships excess productivity, excess goals, excess control. Life becomes an endless project to manage, rather than a mystery to live. And in this overmanagement, we lose the essence of life itself. We preserve the form, but the fragrance is gone, breaking the chains. Wu Wei offers an escape not by abandoning responsibility, but by releasing the unnecessary weight of illusory control. In daily life, this can mean choosing quality over quantity, depth over haste. It's saying no to obligations that serve nothing but your ego. It's pausing before reacting. It's listening for the quiet voice within, the one drowned out by constant noise. It's trusting life's natural cycles. Action and rest, growth and retreat. Even winter has its purpose, an act of rebellion. Living this way in today's world is an act of conscious rebellion. It's rejecting the scarcity mindset that says you're never enough, never doing enough. It's reconnecting with the abundance of simply being. But the old programming will fight back. It will whisper, "You're falling behind." That is the moment to choose, repeat the old resistance, or trust the flow. That choice is the beginning of transformation, the moment of release. There comes a moment when you must decide, keep struggling against the current until you are exhausted, or finally let go. Watts said, "True transformation happens not when you force it, but when you stop resisting what's already trying to emerge. When you stop forcing life, you create space for surprises, for opportunities, for your own intuition to speak. True freedom is not doing whatever you want, it's being so aligned with reality that your actions flow naturally from it. Your turn. Before you leave, pause and reflect. Where in your life are you forcing things right now? Where are you swimming against the current? Recognizing it might be your first step toward freedom. If this message resonated, don't let it stop here. Subscribe to Stoic Blend and join this journey. Every week, we explore ancient wisdom for modern challenges, so you can live with more clarity, strength, and peace. Because life isn't a battle to win, it's a dance to join. And the music is already playing.